Many of us aren't aware of how little we're aware of. There are many times when it's helpful to be more aware of the world around us, and there are reasons why we lack awareness. As someone autistic, I didn't instinctively learn to understand nonverbal behaviour. Most children as they grow up learn nonverbal behaviour from those around them in the same way that they learn to speak. They learn to read and interpret this nonverbal behaviour. I didn't have that experience. It wasn't until I saw the hypnotist Paul McKenna on TV in the early 90s when he presented a documentary about hypnosis and taught that hypnosis was about communication, about looking for nonverbal behaviours and knowing what these behaviours mean, that I realised there was more to communication than just the exact meaning of the words used. This was a light bulb moment for me, and it started me on a journey of discovery where I started studying and learning about nonverbal behaviour and its meaning. For many years, in my early 20s, I worked in an environment which had high levels of violence. During those years, I was involved in over 1,000 violent incidents, with about 300 of them being potentially life-threatening. I've had someone try to hang me with a homemade noose. I've been attacked with knives, broken glass, baseball bats and various other weapons, and had guns pulled out on me twice. In all my time managing these sorts of situations, I've rarely sustained any injuries, and where I have been injured, it's only been minor. Having a relaxed, heightened sense of awareness has been helpful in those situations. It increased my reaction times, allowed me to know what was likely to happen before others seemed to know, and helped me to make better decisions, often doing things others never thought of doing, sometimes things which on the surface seemed illogical, but which were in fact very logical. Opening up my awareness has also been helpful in my work as a therapist. When I'm working with a client, I want to gather as much information as possible about what's going on for the client. People try to say what's going on for them, but words are limiting, so you have to read between the words. You have to read body posture, hand movements, facial expressions, vocal information like changes to volume or pitch, and more. All of this gives far more information about the problem that the client presents with than they themselves know consciously or can express in the words that they use. Although one thing that I'm paying attention to, which they often aren't, is their choice of words, as well as how they say those words. Throughout this module, I'll share with you how to open up your awareness and how to improve and hone your senses. The first step to opening up your senses is to access a heightened state of awareness. In the last episode of this module, I'll guide you through an open awareness meditation, which will help to open up your senses further still. To develop an open awareness state, there are some simple steps that you can take. Firstly, you can open up your visual field of awareness. We have two types of vision, central and peripheral. Most of the time we focus on our central vision. This is the narrow vision that we have in front of us. We have just a very small area of our vision, which is clear and in focus. Most of what we see is out of focus, and we have an area in front of our eyes which we can't see at all because we don't have the receptors at the back of our eyes to create a representation of that space. We rarely notice this because our minds fill in the blanks. In fact, a lot of what we think we see is created by our minds rather than a true representation of what we're actually observing. We jump our eyes around using this central vision to focus on one thing after another. Our central vision is good with detail, but not so good at picking up movement. Our peripheral vision is the vision which is good for picking up on movement or changes. By defocusing your eyes, you use more of your peripheral vision. You also broaden your awareness out. So if you focus on a spot in front of you and hold your arms out to the side, kind of like that, while continuing to focus your attention on that spot, you can see how far back you can move your hands and still see them when you're focusing on that spot. And then defocus your eyes so that you're gazing towards that spot, but the spot's out of focus, and you'll notice that you can now move your hands even further back and still see them. You're aware of a far wider area around you, and you'll be sensitive to movement within this wider area. With this vision, You'll be more sensitive to movement and will notice changes easier than if you focus on one thing at a time with your central vision. Something that can help with defocusing the eyes and accessing the peripheral vision, and also help you to be more aware physically, is relaxing your body. You can let your facial muscles relax, the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Let your shoulders relax and let the muscles throughout your body relax. By doing this, you're allowing yourself to be more sensitive to physical sensations. We're more aware of things around us than we give ourselves credit for. You need to let go and relax physically so that you can increase your awareness of pressure changes, of temperature changes and touch. You can have a sense of stretching out your awareness. You can start to feel the energy field from things. Finally, you want to quiet the mind. If your mind is noisy, then you'll struggle to hear what's coming in from the outside. One good way to quiet the mind is to focus on your breathing. Focus on breathing in and out in a deep and rhythmic way, with each out breath being slightly longer than the in breath. If you find your attention wanders, you can bring it back to the breathing. The idea isn't to stay focused on the breathing, but to use the breathing as a transition from how you were thinking to a state of being present and just in the moment, without thoughts, just awareness. When you enter this state, you can hear better because you aren't also talking to yourself in your mind. You're giving your attention to what you perceive in the moment. You'll be more receptive to the way that people say things rather than just hearing the words and the meaning you expect those words to have when people talk to you. By entering this relaxed, heightened state of awareness, you'll not only increase what you're aware of, but you'll also be better prepared to react to things that happen around you. And your reactions will be faster and more appropriate. In the next episode, we'll explore visual acuity, what you can look for, and when increased visual acuity can help, and how you can practice and increase your visual acuity.